feel like Happy New Year all over again.
Except for there ain't no ball dropping.
Yeah. Well, this ball's being dropped, but that's for another conversation.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Listen Up podcast. It's your boy Brandon.
This is Sam, and today we are joined by my lovely co-hosts from the So What What's Next podcast, Nikki. How are you doing?
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
What's going on? What's going on? Listen, man, I guess you on a social media hiatus, so
I am. Can I tell you, this is the most productive I have been in about, let's call it 6-7 months.
Not 6-7 months. Oh man,
this is the most productive I've been in half a year.
Wow.
Okay. Listen, I was thinking about doing it, but every time, like, Brandon, I can make it like 24 hours.
Brandon, you could do it, Brandon.
I can do it. I don't tweet. Like, here's the thing. I have a lot of thoughts. As you know what I mean? Me and you talk, and I'm on the podcast, so I have a lot of thoughts. But when it comes to just typing them out to people, I don't care that much. No? You know what I mean? So I can take the hiatus from actually sending a message. Oh, I ain't got no problem with that at all.
Right.
But when it comes to actually just not being able to open the app, can't do it.
Can't do it.
So what I missed the most is catching live news, right?
Yeah.
So I missed, like, when the group chats was talking about Sidney Poitier. I had no idea he passed. They were just listing like his movies and all these other different things, and I was like, I mean, what are we having a Back to the Future moment? Like, what are we doing, right? Why are we talking about Sidney Poitier? And I was like, oh, he passed. Like, I had no clue because I wasn't even looking at my phone. Like, I don't even pick up my phone as much. I think they say we pick up our phones like 80 times a day when we're up, at least 80.
I got to be over that number.
Sam tweets 80. I was going to say Sam tweets 80 times a day. I know he pick up his phone more than that.
I'm terrible with it.
Sam trying to break a record.
I need to stop. I had what's crazy when I had one on that when I went viral or whatever. That day,
humble brag. When I went viral.
Listen. First of all, I've told my man went viral. The thing was crazy. Every time he sent out a new article, I'm like, nothing but great. I like, hey, keep being great, man.
Yeah,
keep being great.
Also, I had actually went on a date that same day, and I couldn't put my phone down because I was still getting so many mentions and notifications, and I kept answering them. She was like, why can't you put your phone down? I was like, well, I went viral. And she was like, why did you go viral? And I was like, it's some mundane reason that I probably shouldn't be going viral for. That's just the truth.
I just want you to recognize how many flexes you dropped on us in a matter of seconds, but we'll come back to that.
He was on a date. It was all, it was a girl.
Yeah, I feel like a steak was involved. He ain't want to let us know.
Right, where you was at Roof Chris.
Give Nikki some time, man. Give Nikki some time. She's gonna tell about what she was doing in Cabo last weekend. Just give her a little minute.
Oh no! Oh listen.
So I was in Vegas this weekend.
There it is.
I'm gonna go ahead and pick that one up.
There it is.
Yeah.
So I was in Vegas this past weekend. It was an amazing time, and again, not being on social media really gave me an opportunity to enjoy. My friends, one of my homegirls turned 40.
Wow.
So, we go up for birthdays over here, right? So she turned 40. Long story short, we were all in Vegas, and I actually got time to spend with people, love up on them. Went out, COVID. We were definitely following COVID protocols and all that other stuff. And then, we turned up, but, being on a social media hiatus, I can't even drop all this fire content I got. You know what I'm saying?
Well, don't worry, Nikki. I'm waiting on those IGs. Don't you worry. I got to look.
Look, February 1st.
Take turn on your notifications.
I'm going to tell you something, boy.
Please be ready.
I'm going to tell you something, boy. When Nikki dropped them IGs, just know it's real. It's real going on there. And, I ain't going to lie. I even got elevated a little bit to close friends. And there's some special things in there.
Chill, because everybody don't get them green circles.
I'm sorry, dog.
Oh man,
but it's some amazing things going on.
But no, look, hey guys, thank y'all so much for having me on today, getting me from in front of my other computer screen in front of this one. So definitely looking forward to chopping it up with you guys. I think you have some good things to share, and jump right into. So, what we talking about today,
Well,
fellas?
well, Nikki, I wanted you to come on because you watch probably more college football than me. You are my Pac-12 after dark partner.
Oh,
So
too
we want
funny.
we want to get your thoughts on some college football stuff and some FSU stuff. As you are a member of the, you got a little, you got some rank up there over there in Tallahassee.
Unlike you, I don't have as many flexes around that. But no, I'm definitely looking forward to jumping into it because I've been getting, pieces of info from all you guys because now everybody texts me more since I'm not,
Yeah.
on social media. So I'm hip to kind of what's going on. So what you want to tackle first?
Let's go to the national championship game. Let's go to the college football season national championship game. What did you think of the college football season to start off with? And we'll go to the national championship game after that.
I would say season started off kind of strong. In my opinion, college football started off strong.
Yeah,
It kind of got weak, right? Because your heavy hitters, your top contenders kind of went out early, right? With a couple of L's. Everybody expected Clemson to kind of at least maintain, not necessarily elevate,
Right.
but at least maintain their level of excellence. And, for them to have four L's is, uncommon for them. They acted a little different because they don't know what it feels like, right? And
Right.
I'm looking at them like, oh, this is your first time here, right? Like, I know what that transition feels like when you're here and then you go here, right?
We know.
I'll even say that, Clay Helton getting fired with 2-3 games into the season at USC was kind of crazy, right? Coaches getting hit over the head. Immediately, love Mel Tucker getting his money up there at Michigan State.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh surprising everybody because this is
Yeah.
the first time he beat Ohio State in 8-9 years.
It's been a while.
Definitely been a while. I will say, Sam, you predicted from the very beginning UGA winning the Natty.
I was scared at the end, though. I was scared at the end with that quarterback. I didn't think the midget was going to take over and win it like that.
I was gonna say you ain't feel good. Yes, you feel good on that podcast we did a couple days ago. You picked it just because you had picked at the beginning of the season, but you definitely didn't go in there feeling real good, did you?
Nah, I didn't.
No, I think Oregon let us down, right? We had expectations for Oregon, and then
I never had expectations for Oregon.
I
told Sam when he said Oregon's going to lose to. I said they're going to lose to Stanford and to somebody else they ain't had no business. I didn't know Utah was going to be real good. So.
Utah was pretty good this year.
Utah's usually pretty consistent. They're always considered a sleeper, but they're usually pretty consistent. They play spoiler for someone every year, and then after they beat somebody they're not supposed to beat you go look at their record. You're like, oh, you only have 4 L's. Okay, Utah, we see you.
Yeah. This is one of their better years. I think they had 2 losses this year.
Just two.
Yeah, just 2. Yeah, so this is one of their better years.
So before I get into my national championship analysis, what do you guys think about the season? What do you think about college football overall, Florida State aside?
Quarterback play was down so far this year than what we used to. We didn't have any super quarterbacks. I mean, Bryce Young eventually moved up he moved up to be that face and be that face of college football a little bit. But even him, I guess because of his stature, because he's kind of small, you kind of still don't put him at that super quarterback guy.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a down year, but I did enjoy good defense this year. I enjoyed kind of getting back to watching good defense and not having these quarterbacks really light teams up all year. Jimbo beating Nick Saban. Saban getting beat by his assistants twice this year, something that hasn't happened ever. I thought that was
I want to
cool.
go into the message board so bad because I know they're saying fire Saban. I know.
Yeah.
I want to go to the message board so bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're there. They was in
they were there after the A&M loss, so I know they are off a cliff right now.
Yeah. But I thought it was a good season, though. I thought it was a good season. Something that has really surprised me is the head coaching at the top movement has been kind of crazy to me. Like this whole leaving Notre Dame, leaving Oklahoma, these coaches moving for these big jobs is that's weird to me, So I find that interesting. Brandon?
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's really kind of caught me by surprise. This whole season felt like in flux, you know what I mean? Because once USC fell, you knew, all right, well, Somebody knows something, right? Like the dominoes are getting ready to fall, and at this point, it's like, what's happening? I'll tell you this: Georgia. When after Sam predicted Georgia, I was like, I don't believe it. Georgia gonna lose to somebody. They'll lose to Florida. They'll mess around and lose to Florida. That was kind of my thought process, right? Because it seemed like every year they'll do something like that. But I think after early on, for me, I got on Sam's bandwagon very like, all right, well, it's Georgia's to lose. I don't see anybody being better. I thought Alabama struggled early. Didn't look very crisp in a lot of games, which is something you rarely say from a Nick Saban team. Um, Oregon did what I expected Oregon to do. Oklahoma did what I expected Oklahoma to do. Basically, I mean, for the most part, everybody kind of played their role. I think the only one that may have been a disappointment was Ohio State.
Yeah.
Everybody else kind of did what they normally do, right? And of course Clemson as well. But I think it falls along the quarterback play. If you don't have a quarterback, then it really exposes how well you can really be as a team. And with UGA, he's just not nearly as good as what Trevor Lawrence was and Deshaun Watson before that. So for the most part, everybody kind of did what they were supposed to do. Alabama was Alabama. Georgia
Yeah.
ended up being really great. Clemson was down this year, which was a little bit of a surprise, and Ohio State was a bit of a disappointment. That kind of covers the top of college football. Everybody
I,
else is kind of just
That
I
is,
think
I
mediocre.
will say that
Mediocre.
even Florida, right? I
yeah, that
mean,
was a surprise.
that was a surprise for Florida.
It wasn't
Like
a surprise for me though.
Well, you hate
Again, I
mullet. You
told
hate mullet in Florida,
I
Brett.
did not hate Mullet and I did not
you
hate
do,
Florida.
you
I
do,
do not.
you
I
do,
do not.
and these
First, okay.
things
So
are
first of all,
okay.
let me
These
be
things
very
are
clear.
okay.
I always hate Florida, but I'm also able to give an unbiased. I'm able to give an unbiased opinion. And my point about Mullen and about Florida was Emory Jones was your quarterback. That was my point from the very beginning. If Emory Jones is your quarterback, you are going to lose football games. I don't care who your coach is, and that's what we saw. He rolled with Emory, and Emory lost in football games.
Yeah, yeah,
Period.
yeah. Well, let's get to the next championship game. Impressions of the national championship game. That was quite the game. I wasn't surprised that the team kind of won, kind of going away. I didn't think it was going to get into like a fourth quarter, last 2 minute, a last drive. I didn't think that was going to happen. I was surprised though. I was surprised that Georgia's defense was able to kind of stifle Bama a little bit. I was a little surprised by that.
But why?
Well,
So here's what I picked up early, right?
mhm,
I think they knew Georgia's D line was a monster.
yeah,
So it looks like O'Brien and Saban were trying to get everything to the outside,
yeah, they were trying to
right?
get yeah.
They were trying to get everything to the outside, and I don't think it was working as well. And then they had to come back because when Georgia went zone, they were able to get those slants off pretty quickly. And
Mhm,
Bryce
Mhm.
was kind of feeling himself, right? I don't, and I hate to say this, and I hope people don't come in the comments nutting up, but I feel like I didn't know what Bama's offensive strategy was, right? It felt like things were working, but I couldn't pinpoint and say, this is what they're doing in order to combat, cover two, or this is what they're trying to do in order to neutralize, these cats. Or I couldn't really pinpoint it. And I don't know if it's because I'm still sleepy off of Vegas or what, but it felt very it didn't feel cohesive to me. Whereas when you
Eh,
normally watch a Bama game, you can kind of see, okay, we're going to go outside. Okay, there's going to be a whole bunch of go routes. Okay, we're going to do this, or you can kind of see what their strategy is. And I could not pinpoint that per se. And I don't know if that's because Georgia's defense was so good or because Bama wasn't executing to as well as they should.
So let me ask you this: could it be because of the injuries? Like part of it. So originally I thought, okay, Georgia made some adjustments. Bama kind of came in with the same game plan that won the first time, which is kind of the point that I was making on the last part. But then you realize losing your number one playmaker is tough. Now again, I
Yeah.
don't. I still think Georgia would have won regardless. I mean, I think where me and a
Yeah, if
lot of other
Mitchie's
fans
there,
disagree.
Georgia still wins. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So in my opinion, when you lose your top playmaker, man, it's tough and it can throw a monkey wrench in the game, which is why I think you looked at it at halftime. Nick Saban was like, I don't know what I got going on right now. We got to regroup. So let's just get in the half. Who cares if we get the ball back with this a
mhm.
minute and 30? I don't think we're gonna do nothing with it anyway. Let's just go into halftime, regroup, and come back out the second half. So I mean, I guess my question is, how much, Sam, how much you think the injury had to play in them not looking as cohesive?
I think I think in a normal I think on a normal Alabama team, you can, like I think I said on the podcast, you can build in a lot of adjustments, right? When you got better players, you can adjust better. I think him coming in with Jess Williamson in the game, and as we've seen, Billingsley was a liability. He didn't do the little things, right? And like you watch on that one play where he should have caught a touchdown, he doesn't run the route the correct way. He doesn't stick the route the correct way. He doesn't, get to the sidelines right. He does a lot of little stuff. He don't do the little stuff, right? So that put Young in a situation where once Williamson went out, he didn't have a guy to go to. And once that happened, I think Bama wanted to get to the second half to see if they can get the wide receivers on the same page. So when you watch them come out in the first half, after the halftime, they drove the ball down the field. Well, that was when I think Bama was trying to actually win the game. If we get a touchdown on Kirby them, maybe that'll put them away, right? And they didn't get a touchdown. They got another field goal. You know what I'm saying? And once that happened, I think it just put Bama in flux. They tried to throw the ball to Robinson, but unlike the other Alabama backs they had in the past, Robinson isn't a game breaker. He's a 3-yard to 4-yard to 5-yard cloud of dust guy. He's not a
he's not
Cook.
First down, right?
Right.
He'll get you, enough. He's that short yardage back, right?
Yeah.
Right.
He's gonna get you. He's gonna get as much as the play is designed for him to get, but he's not gonna game break anything. And they didn't have a game breaker, and that's something we haven't seen Bama look like, man, probably ever. They've always had one guy, whether it's Julio, Derrick Henry, Trent Richardson, Calvin Ridley, go on and on and on, Amari Cooper. They always have a guy that can just break a game open. And once Williamson got hurt, they didn't have that guy. And Georgia, to their credit, they feasted. They feasted on him, man.
And now I was gonna say, go ahead, Nikki.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think that was the biggest thing I did see. They definitely put more pressure. Now, give it to Bryce, man. He played and he hung in there, took a lot of big hits, but you realize early on they said we're gonna just throw bodies, keep bringing them. We're gonna disguise blitzes and try to disrupt the timing a little bit. And with Williamson in the game, they still weren't able to fix, because Williamson's gonna get open regardless. But with him out, it did throw that timing off a little bit.
They never fooled Young. But they were fooling the receivers.
That's what I mean.
Got hurt. Once Williams got hurt, they fooled the receivers. So they wasn't fooling Young because Young was still throwing the ball into the spots. The receivers just couldn't get there. And that was, that was it, man. That was ball game.
I'll say this. It was entertaining, right? I fully expected to have my TV off. I was going to be watching reruns of Martin by halftime. Like, I literally thought Bama was going to get up by 2 scores. By the time halftime hits, I'm into season 2 of Martin, right?
Right.
But I was able to stay up and watch it, and I was like, okay, this is entertaining, and I think it was one of the most entertaining games that I've seen in a while, right? Because I'll say that sometimes those games are snoozers, but this one I was kind of like, this is gonna be over towards the end of the second quarter, and I'm glad I was wrong. And everybody asked me who I was going for because, of course, I'm here in Atlanta, so I was like, well, I hope both teams lose. So I don't know how that works, but I hope both of them lose. I'm not cheering. I just want to see, some good football, but it sets the tone. I think there was a graphic that came out that basically said it was LSU in 19, Bama in 20, and UGA in 21, right? So now SEC is pumping their chest, right? They thumping, talking about, we the elite conference, and then we get Texas and Oklahoma jumping in there. Is that next year or 23? Is that 22, 23? Or 23, 24?
It's next year.
Yeah, right? So it's next year. So it's 22, 23. So I'm interested to see what that's going to look like. Adding those 2 teams, now you got Coach Venables at OU. You got Sark in his second year at Texas. So interested to see what that's going to look like in SEC play and how those teams will adjust to the talent level there.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on, Sam. Before you get going, you going to apologize
about what?
Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, I guess I should apologize to Stetson Bennett. Yeah, I should. I've been hard on Stetson Bennett. I don't actually think he was good last night, but
no,
but
I don't either.
He wasn't good. He was good for who he is, and his receivers made a lot of plays.
It's
and
it's gonna be.
You know what's gonna be amazing about this? Stetson Bennett, when he's running a chain of enterprise rental cars in the next couple of years, is going to be able to tell his employees how he won a national championship. He's going to be able to hold his ring up and be like,
nobody's going to believe him, Nikki.
Nobody.
Gonna believe him.
He's going to literally have to pull out his phone and be like,
look, I thought you looked familiar. Yeah, it's going to be one of those.
They could be like,
this is a culmination of him. It gets no higher than him. But I
know Walt Disney and Warner Brothers was happy as hell. They like, dude, we finna make another movie. This is gonna be awesome.
they already see it. They got the screenplay going right now. They tapping it right now. But they're already predicting next year's college football natty is gonna be UGA and Bama again. Of course, because the game just happened. So early predictions are going to be the same teams are going to repeat. But if we had to put on, our commentator analyst hats and had to do some early predictions, who do we think will be playing for the Natty next year?
It's Bama. It's Bama again next year. And man, I really want to go Texas A&M so bad. I really feel like
I do too.
It's funny. I was thinking the same thing.
Texas A&M makes the playoffs. They make the playoffs next year.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to be top 4 next year.
I think so, man. I think what he bringing in, and he going to have so much depth in that recruiting class that he bringing in this year and the one he brought in last year. You stack those two together with the one the prior year before that. I just think he wins.
Well, who's his quarterback though?
He got 2 good quarterbacks.
He got 2.
I don't know. I'm asking.
He got 3 quarterbacks. He got Haynes. He got the guy that came at the 5-star, the generational talent, which they call everybody generational talent, and he got Max Johnson from LSU.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm a generational talent.
That was my question. If he got a quarterback, I believe it. I believe Jimbo. If Jimbo got a quarterback, I believe in him. That's my rule.
Yeah, when when Brad Johnson's son transferred to A&M, I was like, wait, so how many he got? He got 2, like literally 2, and then he signed the 5-star, and I was like, okay, look, I don't know what is. It's going to get to the point where Jimbo is going to be like Kirby, right? Kirby has so much talent that even if he makes dumbass coaching decisions, his talent can overcome that, right?
Yeah.
Jimbo's getting to that same level of insanity from recruiting that no matter what, if he has this long, drawn-out, pro-style, outdated-ass offense, he has enough playmakers that are going to get in there and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be insane. So top 4 is going to be A&M. So A&M and Bama are going to be top 4. I would throw I'm gonna throw Michigan State in there.
Okay. I don't hate that pick. I don't hate that pick. It's going to be hard to beat Ohio State next year. They're going to be.
It's going to be harder. It's going to be harder, but I don't think Harbaugh has another year like he had this year.
No, I think he takes a step back next year.
I also think Harbaugh even considers going back to the. I do think Harbaugh considers going back to the NFL.
I would love him in Jacksonville. I know it ain't gonna happen though. But
it probably won't.
Yeah, we don't get good things. We don't get nice things.
You guys don't deserve nice things. Yeah, so what I say? Bama, A&M, Michigan State, and
you gonna go USC? Go ahead, Nikki. Go on, do it, Nikki. Go on, do it. You know you're going USC.
You know I love Lincoln. So yes, USC. I think that Lincoln's gonna come out and do something unprecedented. I seriously do. I do think a Pac-12 team gets in a redeemable Pac-12 team. Yeah. I'm gonna go with that. Definitely not Oregon. I know Lanning's going out there, but I think Oregon's gonna take some time to build. I don't mean this to be a hater, but I think that's gonna be an unmitigated disaster in Oregon. I really do. I don't know how to feel about that. I didn't get a chance to really look at his entire staff.
I know he was picking out some big fish.
He was picking out some big fish, right? Like Lanning was trying to land some big fish in Oregon, right?
I just don't. I think it's going to be an unmitigated disaster. I think he got there at the wrong damn time. I think you got there when USC is trying to really put a foothold in there. I think he's going to lose 3 to 4 games a year, and they're not used to that. And I think he's going to be on fire. It's going to be a disaster. I really do. They don't.
It ran Mario out of there, right? It ran Mario out of the Pac-12, right?
Mario didn't want no more of that. Yeah.
He was like,
Yeah.
okay, fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah, I just think there's a ceiling on at Oregon though.
Look,
You know what I
he's
mean?
like, I'd rather lose 4 games in Coral Gables
Yeah. Yeah.
than 4 games in Eugene.
he definitely
Yeah.
he losing
I
for
think,
next year too.
and then I think because the alumni, the players there are not fully on board with Dan Lannon either. And I don't think he's going to be able to use. Okay, he can use the Saban playbook, but I don't think he knows the Saban playbook better than what Mario knew it. And I think that's going to be a problem because he's going to be trying to make some of that Norvell. He's not even from the Norvell tree. I need people to stop saying that too. But
yeah, that tree got a whole lot of branches. I ain't know was on it.
yeah,
But go ahead.
I just don't think he's gonna. I don't think it's gonna work. I just don't think the Landon thing is gonna work. I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but I just don't think it's gonna work. I think they got high expectations. The alumni really don't want him there, and I think when he start losing 2 to 3 games a year, it's gonna be like we had enough. And I just don't think it's gonna work. And he's there at the wrong time with USC catching fire. He's there at the wrong.
They're gonna take all his Nike stuff back.
So
you're gonna be looking for a sweatsuit and can't find his little Nike Tech fleece because they gonna take it back little by little.
Yeah. So Nikki, let's go to Lincoln. I'm gonna go ahead and let you get your Lincoln on. Are you all in fight on? Are you all in fight on?
I am close. So the plan is to actually go out there. So the boo hit me up and was like, we got to go to a game. And I was like, well, we don't have to wait till the season to go. Like we could actually go before then. So we may go out there for the spring game. Definitely going to catch a game during the season. We were trying to figure out how we could do the Arizona State USC thing because it'll be in LA next year. That way we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But at this point, I'm excited. I didn't see it coming because I think everybody thought he was going to LSU. So when he popped up and went to USC, I think, we all discussed it, like who saw it coming, but now that he's there, like it's going to be bananas. Like who wouldn't want to come and play for Lincoln Riley in LA at USC, right? Be part of history, to write that story. I don't know what Caleb Williams is going to do. I haven't heard the latest around that. So what do you guys know? What have you been seeing or hearing?
They say he's going on USC. From what I heard, the smoke is he's going to USC.
The story's still the same because that's what I told you. I was like, he's going to finish the season, right? He tried
to up the bags a little bit by saying he was thinking about Georgia. So I guess he wanted a couple more 100,000, a couple more K to be thrown in the
Link
bag.
got it. They gave Link 2 planes and 2 houses. He got it.
Not 2 planes.
Yeah, he actually do got 2 planes and 2 houses.
Yeah.
He got 2 planes.
I respect it.
And a helicopter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I respect it.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at that.
It's real money over there. It's real money over there.
Yeah. I mean, you're in La La Land, man. Of course,
it's a whole lot of money in this. I'm not even mad at it, but I'm excited. But you guys catch me up since we on the Listen Up pod. What's going on in Florida State world? What's the latest and greatest?
Man,
nothing.
Nikki. We are at a place in Florida State right now where I think a lot of fans are asking themselves, are we ever going to get to that level again? Because I think when you watch Alabama versus Georgia, it don't even look like we playing the same brand of football, do it? Like that looks something totally different, right?
Same brand of football. We're not playing the same sport.
Yeah,
I mean, I knew at kickoff, right? When you watch the 2 teams line up and the dudes they sent out to just like accept the kickoff, right? And I'm like, you don't got nobody who look like that on our roster.
Our starting defense don't even look like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
they just on kick return, right?
We don't have a single player on our team that looks like anything that Bama, Georgia brought out there for kickoff. You know what I mean? For the coin toss. I'm like, whew, we got a long way to go. Like that was the thing. As I watched that game, and matter of fact, I called Sam in the SEC championship game, and I said, it's not even the fact that they got better players. Even when you look at the coaching staffs, right, they are able to scheme guys open against good defense. You know what I mean? Like there are NFL guys on that team. You have Dan Lanning, you got Nick Saban. Both of those coaches and coordinators are scheming guys open against like other top coaches.
Yeah.
You got
We're
Bill
not scheming
O'Brien.
guys
Bill
open.
O'Brien was what the Houston Texans head coach.
Yeah,
That's
Right?
my point. Right. We're not scheming guys open against Jacksonville State. There are levels to what we're watching right now. You realize, well, we got a long way to go. And whew, it's a humbling it's a humbling feeling when you watch those two teams play. And shoot, and others around the country. I watched a lot of bowl. I never watched bowl games. I watched a lot of bowl games, and it didn't
And you
make
were
me feel
jealous.
good about Florida State. Yeah, you know what's funny? I'm gonna shut up, Alex. I watched Wyoming play.
Not Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Not the flyover state.
I watched Wyoming, and I was like, I think they would beat our ass. I was like, I watched it. I said that offense, they would put up 60 on us, like that and that. But I don't mean that as like a shot at Florida State. I mean like that's how far off we are from.
shot.
It's a shot, it is, but I don't mean it as a shot. I'm just saying like this is just how far off we are as a football program. Where I mean these teams, man, are really doing some innovative stuff. And when I
Yeah.
look at our offense and I look at our defense and I look at the things that we are doing, I'm
Yeah.
saying we're not there.
Well,
And it's
go ahead,
early. It's early, but what are our thoughts around Coach Atkins now being the OC? I think you guys covered it. Well, I know you guys covered it on a previous pod, but how are we feeling about it now?
let's talk about the staff as a whole, right?
Oh,
I
okay.
like Atkins, right? But I was adding some things up the other day. All right, I was looking at Jimbo 20 when he first got here in 2010. You know, just kind of adding up recruiters and guys. You know, that's gonna fly out the mountain one day and become head coaches and stuff like that. And I was just looking at Mike Norvell's staff, and I was looking at Jimbo's staff, and I was just like, we got one in the possible, right? Like
Who's the
Atkins,
possible?
Atkins is could rise up the ranks, right? And I was looking at him.
You heard Brandon.
Who's
heard
the
Brandon.
possible?
So then I was like, maybe Woodson could be a dynamic recruiter, like an Eddie Grand type, real dynamic recruiter, right? He's done a good job recruiting. But then I was like,
Let me ask you a question.
After you get past
Before you
that
continue
one,
on with that,
go ahead.
because you said Woodson.
I said
Let-
a possible, Brandon. That's what a possible is.
No, that's not a possible. A possible is a king.
I'm mad.
A king
Y'all playing
of hearts. I can make a king of hearts walk if you play the ace first. You know what I mean? That's a possible. What I'm telling you, you know what I mean? Depending on what the ace falls and what else is in everybody else's hand, I can make a king work. That's a possible.
Okay.
Travis Hunter was his responsibility.
Brandon.
No?
I'm not
Okay,
doing
all
that.
right, never
I'm
mind.
not
All
doing
right.
that.
Okay.
Right, my bad.
I'm gonna
Carry on.
pivot.
Yeah, that's a sole subject for Brandon.
No, I'm just telling. I mean, again, you said one of the
Brandon,
possible. I
Brandon,
gave you Atkins
Brandon.
when I was trying to figure who the possible was, but all right. I mean, I
Okay.
guess we letting sevens walk today. Huh?
Yeah, but anyway, I was looking at it. I was like, I just don't think he has enough. I just don't think he has enough recruiters on the staff, and I don't. And it's not necessarily a might thing. I don't know if they have, or do they have the resources to get in some of these big time fights that you got to get into and that you got to win to become a perennial top 10 team. Because that's kind of where they got to get at to become a top 4 team. And I think that's where I'm kind of sitting there. And I think me and Nikki talked about this. Me and Nikki have resigned ourselves to this 7 wins here, 7 wins there, 6 wins here, maybe 8 on a good year. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I'm at. So when people be saying, Mike's turning it around, I'm like, well, where are we turning at? You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at.
Three right turns make a left. So like, I mean, what are we turning? Are we turning a corner? Are we turning like I think everybody misses the days where we could again beat our chest and troll and be, where we could talk our shit, right?
Yeah.
And I think right now we're just grasping at anything that will give us some level of relief or confidence that we're headed in the right direction, because we're cheering a 5-win season. We made excuses for a 3-win season. We're cheering a 5-year season, and now we're hoping for a 7-win season, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have some changes. We have, some spots on the roster that are being filled, some that are still, questionable and things like that. But, I will I was in the acceptance phase long before this first season ever started, right?
Yeah.
You know, I think I resigned the fact that we were only going to win anywhere from 5 to 8 games in any given season. And I think that's why I'm more level-headed about it now.
Yeah.
Because I'm ready to simulate the next 2 seasons so we can get back to where we should be. And even with me being off social media, the amount of people that have been texting me or reaching out about Dion, because of course he's been cutting up with getting, some some 5-star talent.
Yeah.
I'm like, I appreciate what he's doing for HBCUs. I love that he's a magnanimous athlete, never taking that away from him. But stop telling me that Prime should be the head coach of my alma mater,
right?
And you don't even want to replace your coach with him, right? You coming at me, Prime deserves a head coaching position. He should be head coach of this. He can do Florida State. He can do this, that, and the other. Cool. Swap him out with Kirby. Swap him out with Dabo. Swap him out with Clark.
Yeah.
Swap him out. Like if you feel that confident, then let him coach your alma mater. Let him coach your program. But if you can't even get a vote of confidence behind that, stop coming to me about that with Florida State. Because right now I gotta block you. Right? Like I gotta block you even in my text right now because you're coming at me off some foolishness. But I say all that to say to the macro point about recruiting, we don't have the guy that lands us the whales, right? The big shark, the big fish.
Yeah.
We're in it for a lot of people, but it'd be good to actually land those people. And I get it. It takes time. There's a lot of things that go into it. We're getting kids on campus.
Why does it take? Hold on. Why does it take?
No. We're because we suck. Because our record. We are what our record is, right? And there now, I again, who's getting kids on campus? The people who are getting kids on campus, like Sark. Texas had an extremely down year, right? Especially after that Oklahoma loss.
5 wins, lost to Kansas. First time in 14 years. Yeah.
And he's still getting people on campus, right? Still getting kids there, right? But Sark also has the recruiting routes. He has the relationships. He has these different things that are already there and existing, right? That he can get these kids on campus. We can't say that.
Yeah.
We can't say that.
So
that's why it's taking time.
Yeah.
I'm not, and that's not an excuse.
Right?
No. It's not an excuse. Go ahead, Sam.
Well, when you hire, and see, I don't want to do this, but we're gonna be honest about it.
Right.
This isn't I think we've always said on this podcast. Mike Norvell took a job, right? If you said, "Hey, Sam, I'm gonna hire you to be the Florida State coach. I'm gonna give you $3.5 million." Guess what? I would let y'all go message board crazy, saying how Sam don't know what the hell he doing. He needs to be fired every week, and I would collect my $3.5 million. That's what I would do. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really be mad at Mike. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I look at all this stuff and I say, well,
you can't. I'm sorry, finish.
Well, I'm saying you can't be mad at him for collecting the checks. But when I look at all this stuff, I say, man,
I could be a little mad though.
You could be a little mad. Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna be mad. I mean, he's the face of all this. That's why we get mad at him. But I think I look at this and say, he had a chance last year after the COVID season to say, you know what? I need to make some changes because there are some things here that I have a problem with. Like when you didn't get Micah Trigg when he committed to USC, it was an Auburn USC race. You thought you had him. You didn't get Micah Trigg. That was a sign that said, hey, we got a little problem here. You know what I'm saying? It was some recruiting signs during that COVID year. Because you can't say I don't have any relationships because it's your job to make relationships. It's your job to hire people with relationships. He tried to do some of that stuff by hiring Randy Shannon and some of those other guys. But those guys' names, like the guy Joseph or whatever, I mean, he's a name, but he's not that name. Like Georgia got 50 of those type of guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I said, like they made a run at Jawan Snyder recently. Well, you should have made that run at Jawan Snyder last year. That was a run you should have made last year. You should have came in and said, hey, we got a problem here. Let's get a big dog in here. Go get me 2 or 3 big dogs. I need $1 million for 2 coordinators, 2 position coaches. That was something that should have been done last year. And I think now you're a dead man walking because everybody saw the Jacksonville State game, everybody just saw the muck in the Florida game, and everybody turn around and see you losing the top recruits to Dion.
And then now you're getting outpriced, right? So not only is your record bad, but if you want to actually bring on top tier coaching and
Right.
staff adjustments, right?
Yeah.
Now you're getting outpriced because your DCs are now going for 1.5. Your OCs are now going for 2 million, right?
Yeah.
These coaches are the position coaches and coordinators are almost getting the same amount as head coaches at this point, right?
Right.
So your record is in the shitter.
Yeah.
Right. And then when you're trying to go and get some top tier members to add to your staff, you can't cut the check.
Yeah.
You can't cut the check to be competitive.
And it's hard to find it's hard to go to the money people to get them to allocate this money if they not fully bought in on the wins and losses either. You know what I'm saying? I would say that the money people need to be more maniacal, like Auburn is. Be maniacal. Cut the check anyway. But it is hard to get them to do that though.
That's what I'm gonna say, but they're not doing it though.
There's ways to do this. Tennessee's not paying like 3 coaches and 2 ADs for no reason,
right?
Right?
Yeah,
like they're still paying coaches from years ago, right? There's ways to do this. I'm not just going down the path of the let's get maniacal. That's the point I'm saying. Like, find a way to make it work. There's ways to do this, and I tell people all the time. Like, there's the official books.
Yeah.
And then there's the books, right? There's ways to make this happen. There's money. There's plenty of money to make these things happen, but it's hard to put money behind an 8 win in 2 seasons coach.
Yeah, but I mean, to your point, when you say there's money, I mean, we know that there's money because, again, when they needed to get a coach fired and they said there was no money, you can't fire a coach after 2 years, they found the money. So for me, it's not even a case of having 2 books. It's just a matter of they just have chosen. They're cheap. Again, we've said it. They're not broke. They're cheap, right?
Right.
And so they have to get out of that mindset of being cheap, of trying to win because we're Florida State. You know what I mean? Oh, we're Florida State. We're going to get players. The problem I have, though, is even separate from both of those issues. This staff. So I heard somebody break down, how you end up with the crystal balls and all that stuff, right? So a lot of people look at the recruiting rankings and they say, okay, well, how do we get this crystal ball? Well, this guy was crystal ball to us. Basaint was crystal ball to us. And essentially what they said was the coaching staff. The coaching staff told us that we had this guy. So my problem is what is the coaching staff doing incorrectly that is allowing them to essentially either be misled, lied to, or what are they seeing that's incorrect that is having them
they like the fans. They got hope. They like the fans.
Yeah, but they can't be operating off of hope. Again, I hope not, Nikki. But I refuse to believe that they're operating off of hope and that
I'm gonna tell you what this is. I'm gonna tell you what's going on here. This is when you got when you're out there in the game and you're a player, right? You know what I'm saying? You trying to line something up for Saturday, right? You tell 3 people, right? You hit the phone, you dial up 3 people, be like, hey, what you doing Saturday? I want to get together and chill, right? So by Thursday, somebody may not have a babysitter. Okay, now you down to 2.
And then and then the other one may get COVID, so they can't even go outside. They
can't
even
go out. Can't even go out. They quarantine. So
then guess what? Guess who gets lucky?
Yeah, now you got 2, right? Then you say, well, who's gonna do the things to make this experience the best it possibly can be for me on Saturday, right? So then,
come on, Sam.
Make this experience the best possible. I like it.
Right. So who's gonna do that part, right? So then you start, hey, I'll try da. And if somebody say, I can do that, but I can't do this, all right, now you go slide back over there. And so what's happening is, do these kids like the coaches? Yeah, they like the coaches like they like the fans. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they're still playing the game. Everybody's playing the game. And that's the problem. And I don't think our coaches are part of playing this game.
Understand that they're playing the game. That's what I'm saying. When you get to the place where you are now confident enough to say, we got this dude, he coming. So then the people go and put in the crystal balls, and now everybody's like, he coming. It makes you look really incompetent. Again,
You know who's playing the
I was
game?
told the previous coach was fired, not for his record, but because of what was the word they used? Uh, disorganization, right?
Yeah, they
That's
like that.
disorgan. Yeah, that's disorgan. They're like that's disorganization. You know what I mean? If you tell me that I've been told all, you know what I mean, for oh yeah, we got him, we telling everybody we celebrating, and then on the
Yeah,
day of you find out oh we don't have him. That's you're missing a piece,
yeah.
and
But they
that's the
don't
problem.
they don't really know because they don't have the deep connections, right? Like, let me say this, man. Like Jimbo, I'm gonna use Jimbo Fisher for example. Jimbo Fisher, Eddie Grant, James Coley, they got deep connections. They know what it
Hmm.
takes, right? They know exactly what it takes to get Dalvin Cook. You see what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
they knew what it took to get Dalvin Cook 2 years before we even knew who Dalvin Cook's name was.
Right.
And that's a difference. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's like, so when you talk about Kirby, Jimbo, Mario, these guys are the type of recruiters that their recruiting board is so deep and they do so much. I mean, they know everything about that Miami area, man. It's not a
They
place
seen
that
these kids grow up. They seen them play in middle
their
school. They
parents.
seen them play. Yeah, they literally have seen these kids since 6th, 7th grade,
It's
right?
a different
And
level, man.
to
It's just
further
a
that point,
different
they
level.
also know who to recruit. Sometimes you're not recruiting the kid. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Sometimes you got to recruit the mama. Sometimes it may be the coach.
right.
Sometimes it may be, you know what I mean? Like you don't. It's the Bible, the pastor, whoever has the most influence over the kid. That's who you are recruiting. And it seems like they talking to kids. You know what I
I
mean? You talking to a
remember
17-year-old, and he telling you, "Oh man, I love you, coach. I'm coming." And
I
then you
remember
just say it, "All right, we got him," and then going back and high fiving.
when you
It
say that
has to be deeper
when
than
you said that I thought about it. I remember Jeremy Pruitt was telling me when he was recruiting Trent Richardson,
that. Hmm.
he was like he had to recruit the judge. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, it's a judge in his town
Hmm.
that everything ran through this judge.
Hmm.
And he was like, once he recruited the judge, got the judge on board, Trent Richardson was easy to get.
And that's my point.
But
That's the
they
level
have
of
they
organization
have
that you
deep
have to.
ties with that type of stuff. And I don't know if we got those type of I don't know if we got those type of gunners, killers, assassins, you know.
But then, all right.
You know.
So, all right. So
So
let me ask you.
what you find yourself is you find you taking guys out the portals that's looking for a home, that that need a home, that are hard workers, and you just you find do-gooders. And there's nothing wrong with that. You could build a 7-win team out of that, maybe an 8-win team.
Look how far we fallen.
Highlight NK comment for a second.
Look how far we have fallen. Oh my God.
Hold on. Highlight NK comment real quick.
Which MK? Which one? The bottom one?
The 802. Yeah. That's kind of like that.
No, sorry.
That should never be. You know what I mean? He's a thought. Should never like we losing wide receiver. Here's the other thing though, and hold on to even further his point. Not only should you never lose a Florida wide receiver recruit to Louisville, but when you talking about the recruit, when you tell me Mortimer is the guy who you lose, right? I'm saying I live in Florida. I watch high school. I go to high school football games.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Mortimers around this city and around this state. You could go find you another Mortimer. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have had to be like, all right, well, we lost Mortimer because we don't put all the eggs in the basket. Now we got to go and get West Virginia's reject, or we got to go get somebody. You know what I mean? Somebody who's unhappy over at this other school. Again, I don't know what these players can do because we watch Parchment, so I'm not lying again about the wide receivers. Hopefully they're all good. You know what I mean? I hope they're all great. But at this point, I'm not gonna lie about them.
Yeah.
So if they're good, they're good. If they're not, they're not. So what I'm saying is you should be able to find you a kid in the state of Florida who can do the same things as Parchment. And it has nothing to do with the stars. It has nothing to do with the rankings. Go out there and do some homework. Go out, have people in the ground who knows we don't want one Mortimer. If the state is filled with them, like we all know them guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like go find you some guys in Florida, in Georgia, and bring them in. You know what I mean? Like
I don't even mind recruiting out because kids are going to leave the state, right?
Yeah.
Gone are the days where the big three are keeping kids in the state, and I get what you're saying, Brandon. I'm not saying you're wrong.
No,
we're just we're in such a different time now.
Yeah.
Some things remain the same, but these things have changed. Like that whole stay in Florida thing, like the way not we as in Florida State, but the way the state totally botched that whole NIL thing,
Yeah.
like just there's so many barriers
Yeah.
that are not even Florida State barriers, that are just Florida barriers that are going to make kids continue to leave the state, right?
Yeah.
I'm not mad at recruiting out of state talent. I want to fortify the Florida relationships. I want to fortify the Georgia relationships. Have no problem, no issue with that. And I think we have people on staff that can do that, right? Like KY gives us some access to that, right? Woodson still has some access to that. Bartow, right? There's people there that can help drive that, but we have to get innovative. We're still recruiting like it's 2000.
Yeah.
We're still recruiting like it's 2010.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right? If we can't put business proposals in front of kids to say, hey, I care about you. I've been in your life since this time period, right? Yeah. I have opportunities for you to exceed here, but with your education. You want to become a underwater basket weaver. Here's your major here. Here's how we can get you to exceed. Also, as we do this, we have partnerships lined up for you. These partnerships are going to yield this rate of return, this upfront, boom, boom, boom. Like if you can't
treating every kid like they're a business,
and not to the point where you're treating them like they're just a widget, but to the point of saying, I want to show you there's more to this than just football. Football is option one, right? I want you to focus on this, but also I want to change the trajectory of
your life.
Future.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Yeah. And that's what these deals are doing. That's what Jimbo's doing. That's what Sark is doing. That's what these coaches are doing. Dion, that's what they're doing. They're being innovative in their approaches. They're using their current business relationships and connections and connecting it to these kids.
Yeah.
And we are floundering. We are literally a fish out of water trying to figure this out. Meanwhile, other schools are rocking and rolling.
Yeah,
rocking and rolling.
And that was the part that I did fault Mike on. You know what I mean? Again, you want your leaders, you want your CEO to be forward thinking. You want him to be able to look at it and say, I'm not trying to I'm trying to see what's in the future. We knew the NIL was coming. You knew what hurdles you had, figure out a way around them. Don't make the excuses. Figure out a way around your limitations.
That's what my dad said, Brandon. No excuses, just execution. That's it.
Exactly.
That's it. What do you think, Brandon? Let me ask you this. What do you think from your perspective? What do you think is going to be the catalyst, right? So let's say the NIL law is now moving forward. If it passes Florida legislation, there's no issues. Go at it. You can. It's the Wild Wild West. Have at it. What does Florida State need to do from that perspective? How do they now move in that direction? Is it the staff changes like you mentioned?
I was going to say change coaches. I mean, you got to change coaches. I know it sounds bad, but that really is it. You don't have the player. If they haven't done it, let me say this. Mike has shown an ability to understand where I may be limited in this area. This has changed. And so therefore I have to do some things a little differently now. The problem is it's always late. You know what I mean? I want my leaders to lead. I want them to see ahead of the curve, not what's the curve is come now. I'm going to make the turn. No, be ahead of it. So yes, I believe Mike will make some changes. I believe Mike will figure out a way to work around it. The problem is I would have liked for him to have figured that out
already.
Yeah, to have already figured it out. So, and there's some guys who you're just not going to be able to bring along. You know what I mean? Again, the reason why Ron Dugan still has a job is I don't understand it. You know what I mean? The same thing for the furniture. I have no idea why he still has a job. At some point, these people have to produce. I mean, I hate to call people out, but anyway, I mean, I don't actually. But at some point, you have to produce. And so when you say, like, what's the fix? Find people who can produce. You know what I mean? Find some people who can actually go out and do the things that are required. Find you some mercenaries, some people who are proven recruiters. You know what I mean? Like, who's overperforming at a small school, and go get him. You know what I mean?
Relationships matter.
Right. Yeah. We watched what USC did. We want your guy. We watched what LSU did. We want your guy.
Yeah.
Give me who you got.
They
He's
landed
proven.
it on
Give
the
me
first
him.
try. Landed it
Right.
on the first attempt.
Right.
Yeah.
Give me who you got. They didn't go bargain bin shopping. They said, we see a problem. Oh, I like that. Let me go get it.
They didn't go to Goodwill. They went
They
straight to
didn't go to
Saks.
Goodwood. They went straight to Saks. I'm going to we going to the Gucci store. Let's go buy. You know what I mean? Like they
Let's
didn't
get it.
look at it and say, hey,
Yeah.
let's, you know what I mean, let's figure out the cheapest option, or let's figure out, no, man, let's go big game hunting. And if you're Florida State, that's what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Go do
Yeah.
it.
It's a great point, Brandon. We're going to get to the next segment. One of the reasons why I had Nikki on, she's from the So It What's Next podcast with me. I'm going to drop the link in the bio, in our comment section right now.
Yeah, please do.
Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the Apple. We're going to drop the So It What's Next episodes on YouTube. So we're going to do it on this page. So, we'll have more content coming to y'all from this. So we're going to do a So What's Next.
Yeah, so to set it up, right, Sam? So what's next? That's our pod where we try to stay away from topics such as Florida State football.
It's hurtful.
We try to go to our happy place like our therapist recommends. But so what's next is our pod around pop culture and all things going on in the world that you care about today and won't even care about tomorrow. So we definitely would love for you to jump in with us. We're already into season 3 of the pod. Listens continue to grow up, feedback continues to go up. So we thank you for patronizing. And if you're not, please go right now. We're giving you time to grab your phone, go ahead, search So What's Next on any of the platforms that you use. Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, whatever you got, go ahead and subscribe to that, and then look for some content to come shortly from season 3.
Nick, I got to tell you too. So we sitting here talking about this. So what's next, right?
Yeah.
For you guys that don't know, we've had some really good guests on the show so far. We had Gail Bean from Snowfall, and we're supposed to have a big guest thing going on this year, man. So please, y'all really want to tune in for some of this stuff. It's gonna be good. But Nikki, so what's next?
What's up?
Have you heard about this Taco Bell and chicken wings?
You guys, you and Brandon were the ones who technically brought it to my attention. And when I think of Taco Bell, I'm thinking of tacos, burritos. Right. I'm thinking fast casual Mexican dining. I am not thinking about chicken wings. So, but you're talking to someone who lives in the capital of lemon pepper wets.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The last place I would even think about going for wings would be Taco Bell. But when is it? Is it officially out there now where everybody can go? You can actually get them now, or is it certain markets? What's going on with it?
No, it is.
The wings are out.
Hold on. She is very right. If you in Atlanta and you eating the Taco Bell wings with all them wing spots, there's something wrong with you. Like, listen, I live in the outskirts of Jacksonville, right? I'm out here in McLennan. I ain't got very many options. You know what I mean? I can ride into Jacksonville to Orange Park. I can find me some wings. But Taco Bell right up the street. If you in Atlanta and you eating them Taco Bell wings, you got a problem.
You got a huge problem.
Make yourself known, and we gonna be reported.
Yeah, I can go and get a 10-piece or 12-piece at any given time. I'm talking about like
on
2
any
in the morning, 2 in the morning, or at 11 a.m. Like,
right? It don't matter. Yeah.
It do not matter. But I could see why you would offer it, right? I could see it's universal. Like you drop them. Like it's easy to cook, easy to get in and out. Like I get it. I just don't think I would want. Like
when
that's just not my ministry.
I'm gonna do a preview. I'm gonna go get some of them wings. I'm gonna run right up the street, go get some of them wings. I'm gonna try them out.
But
now, again, if I'm sick tomorrow, y'all already know.
To your point earlier, Brandon, right? You were saying that you can understand why, because it's a rebrand, right?
Absolutely.
It's a rebrand. I think if you guys take the time, if you do fast food or whatever the case may be, I know a lot of people lay off of it for the new year, but if you go to fast food, you will see Chick-fil-A, Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, all these fast food and fast casual restaurants are remodeling their buildings, right?
Mhm.
Their signage, their menus. Like they are really revamping because, you know, we're the aunties and uncles now, right? They have to cater to that younger demographic. Like I never thought Burger King would be selling hot dogs, but guess what was the number one seller for Burger King 3 years in a row? Hot dogs.
Hold on.
I didn't even know Burger King
I
sold
didn't know
hot
Burger
dogs.
King
What
was
in the
selling
world
hot
is
dogs.
happening?
Look, this is how I know you either have young kids, like toddlers, or older kids, because you know, the mommies, the parents of teenagers, we know like the hot dogs were such a hit because you could literally go and pick your kid up from school before you take them to soccer practice or before you take them to, you know, cheerleading or whatever the case may be. You could at one point in time, you could literally go to Burger King and get hot dogs, and they were $1.
What?
I got bougie kids. I think they'd be offended if I
Dude,
asked
I
them
am.
to get a
I,
Burger
I
King
wanted
hot
to make. I
dogs.
wanted to make my kid bougie, but some kind of way he found about McDonald's. I don't know if that's from YouTube Kids, but now he's
No,
always
that's from you.
like, he's like, Daddy.
That's from me, probably.
He like,
Yeah,
Daddy.
that's from him.
He like, Dad, I need old McDonald's. I want some old McDonald's, Daddy. I'm like, why you call it old McDonald's? It's just McDonald's.
Because he's thinking about the song.
You think about the song. They got you already. Yeah, they got him already. Yeah, he'll like him.
Yeah,
he'll like
lifer. So, but
Yeah.
this chicken wing situation, I'm not gonna lie. If I was in my 20s, 25, 26, on a drunk night,
when the stomach was a little stronger. When your stomach was a little bit.
I'd probably get 12 in a crunch wrap and 3 Dorito tacos. You know what I'm saying?
Oh boy, you really gonna be? Yeah, you gonna have that. You gonna need a strong stomach for that, boy. That's a combination.
Boy.
I wouldn't play with. Listen, I'm nervous already
like
about
it. Okay.
Right, like I got the Tums by the bed. Let me go. Like, let me go and get the Tums before I even grab these wings.
Man, burrito. Taco Bell and Crystals at this age.
Don't be surprised. I promise you, don't be surprised if we have this conversation next year when we find out that chicken wings was a top seller for Taco Bell.
Oh no, it is.
Don't
right?
be surprised if we revisit this January 2023. Don't be surprised if you find out that this was a game changer for Taco Bell.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I mean, like, you know, we talked about it before the podcast
Would you eat the
came
chicken
on.
wings though? Would you eat the chicken wings?
I would eat them if I didn't know they were from Taco Bell.
Brandon?
Like if somebody brought me a thing of wings, I'm gonna eat them because right.
I'm dead serious. I'm really finna go down there and grab some. Like I'm finna go down there and grab. At this point, I've heard too many people talk about it. And here's the funny thing: I've been in Taco Bell like twice, and every time I'm like, I can't do that to myself.
They say they got like a cheesy ranch sauce for them too.
What is our obsession?
That sound like indigestion. What
is our obsession with dipping everything in hot Cheetos?
I don't know what that's about. That is getting weird. That is getting weird. That's getting weird.
But you know, they cornered the market on them Cheetos though. Then they had those. Then they had the Cheeto tacos or something. No, they got Doritos tacos.
Yeah,
they got Doritos tacos, but you can get anything covered in flaming hot Cheetos now. Like
it's weird.
Like poultry, steak, all these other things. I'm like, yo, I don't know what stomachs God gave y'all, but like I couldn't eat that one even when I was younger.
Yeah, I was gonna say I couldn't eat that even.
For our healthcare to be so expensive, we got some of the worst eating habits, man. This country is ridiculous.
We really do have problems. Yeah, we got
some issues, man.
We do. But hey, guys, you know what? I hate to do this to you. I actually have to go out.
This was great. This was great.
I have to go and be a mama because, as I mentioned, my teenager is probably down there eating some flaming hot Cheetos now, and she needs to be eating a balanced meal. I love talking to you guys. You know, y'all are my favorites. Definitely appreciate y'all having me on. Again, I am off social media for the month of January. I'll be back February 1st, but please note of social media. It's Yes, I'm That Nikki, or Yes, This Is Nikki. Either one you should be able to find on IG and or Twitter. Follow So What's Next podcast on Twitter and Instagram, and make sure that you go to your platforms, look up So What's Next, and follow us where you can hear me and Sam talk about more randomness and enjoy some good content from our upcoming guests.
Yeah. And that's the show. That's the show. And I appreciate Nikki, Brandon, and Nikki. We got an episode next week. We dropping one. So y'all stay tuned.
Yes, we'll have an episode next week, but y'all be easy.
Yo.
Bye.